Hey everybody. So over the last 7 years, we have done what's called the Gen X program in our national area. When I started off as a new consultant, Pam Shaw was our national area. And then Julia became a national. And so we're part of what's called the EPIC family. So Pam Shaw was our national, and she offspring Julia, and then Julia offspring Leah, Lachlan. And so the three of them still kind of work together, and we're all still one big family, and we're called the EPIC family. And Julia realized there's a need for something to kind of change because our focus went from parties, as Mary Kay had always wanted, to going to these faces. And although the Gen X program was amazing and it propelled many of us to success in Mary Kay, Julia saw that we needed to change something. So she came up with the Perfect 12 program. And I'm worried that this is going to be backwards, that you guys are going to be seeing this backwards, but there's really not a lot I can do. I think you're smart enough to figure it out, but I want to go over this with you in our tracking sheets because I know it's hard to get on board with something that you don't understand. So my goal in making this video for you all is to make sure that you understand what this program is. So Perfect 12 is just going back to the basics. The goal is to try to do 12 parties in a month, but there are several ways for you to still win, okay? And so that starts with 4 parties, okay? So 4 group parties or 20 faces, but we really want to make that 4 groups of 5 people, okay? Any way you slice it, 4 parties with 20 people for the month, 4 career surveys for the month. That also counts for your guests to Girls Night Out. Those count for your career surveys. 400 wholesale. That means that you've sold $800 for the month. If you're doing 4 parties, you better be selling $800 or we're going to have to work on your parties. And the weekly focus is 1 party and 1 career survey and $100 wholesale, which means $200 retail, and just kind of goes up. 6 is the next level. So you're working a perfect 6 group parties with 30 faces, 6 career surveys, 600 wholesale for the month. That's $1,200 retail sales. And your weekly focus is either 1 to 2 parties and $150 to $200 wholesale. Okay, and you want to really work that. And then where you really start seeing a difference in your business is at the level of Perfect 8. So that's 8 group appointments for the month. That's 2 parties a week, people. 8 group parties, 40 faces, 8 career surveys, 800 wholesale, and that's 1,600 retail. And your weekly focus is 2 parties, 2 career surveys, and $200 in sales. Wholesale, that's 400 you're selling retail. 400 a week retail sales. Your next level is the Perfect 12. This is what we want you to shoot for every month. It's 12 group parties or 60 faces, 12 career surveys or guests to meeting, 1,200 wholesale. That means you sold 2,400 retail, so you're keeping $1,200 a month in your pocket. And your weekly focus is 3 parties, 3 career surveys, and 600 retail, 300 wholesale. Okay, so that's what the Perfect 12 is. Well, how do you track that? You know, what's a way to do that? Well, I'm going to tell you the first way is you want to start at the beginning of the month booking parties. And we've always done a book 10, book 10, book 10, book 10. I've heard book 10 for the last 7 years. I could recite book 10 stuff in my sleep. But guess what? We're about party time now. So this is broken down into party time 4, party time 6, party time 8, and party time 12. And this is something you want to track throughout the month. I want to know by the 5th, what have you got? Do you have a book for? This is my sheet. I only have 4 parties booked for the month, so I'm still working on it. So, you know, my goal is to get up to 12. So every time I book a new party, I'm going to put it in there. So by the 15th of the month, you want to really start filling this up. So it's super simple. You just put your name, the month, your name, and your director's name, and you track. And so it says up here, 24-hour confirmation of your party. Circle yes or no. Have you pre-profiled? Yes or no. And it just kind of gives you the hostess's name, her phone number, the party date, and the guests. And you want to keep track of this, and you want to send this to me on the 5th and on the 15th. so that I know what's on your books for the month. If I know what's on your books for the month, the better I can help you work and plan and make sure that you're doing what you need to do for those parties. Because if I don't know what you have in your books, it's hard for me to help you. Now, that's twice a month. That's something that you want to do twice a month. Here's what you want to do on a weekly basis. You want to fill in your perfect 12 sheet and send it to me on Mondays. So this is just kind of where you're tracking, okay? So you can see that I've done 12 faces so far this month, so Mama needs to step it up, okay? So, but here I'm keeping track of my faces, and then, you know, same stuff, my name, I'm my own director, and that's the month. And then I'm writing down my, the names of my hostesses, how much money I sold, how many career surveys I booked, and how many new bookings I got from that. And then I'm keeping track of my career surveys on this side. So who did I do a career survey with? What was their answer? What's my next step? And at the bottom, weekly, I'm tracking what my retail is. And then if I place a wholesale order, I put in what my wholesale order is. So instead of doing you don't have to write your wholesale in every week. Right when you place the wholesale order what it is. So you don't have to just weekly divide that in half. If you're not placing a wholesale order, don't worry about doing that yet. Like for me, I like to do it all at once. So there is one lump sum of 600 there for a wholesale order. So, and then at the end of the month, you're going to fill this in. But weekly, you want to do this because this way you know what you're doing and what you need to do still, like me, to hit your goal, okay? And you want to keep this in front of you because it's a little reminder like, hey, pick up the phone and make some more phone calls, right? So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. Don't make it more complicated than it is. I mean, literally, you can fill in with a Sharpie. Everybody does it differently. I've had people write names there. I've had people do it with different colored pens and pencils. I have people just scribble. I have everything. All I care about is that you're doing it. I want to see what it looks like. And these should be on my website for you guys to download. And I'm going to start putting these in all the new consultant packets so they can get these. But if you want the links for them, let me know. And if you need them, just email me personally and I will email you back so that you can have them. But let's get on this, people. Let's be party perfect and party with a purpose. Have a great day.